with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. Sorry, I'm losing my voice today. Excuse me. Darn COVID. But anyways, I wanted to retouch on a topic that I've actually made a ton of content about over the last 6 years. I highly recommend that you watch my other videos in this series, which is the retention series. If you want to access the retention series, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is Straightsmile Solutions. Scroll down, and towards the bottom, there's a retention playlist. There's a lot in there. We have a lot on Essix, Vivera, Hollies, in-house retainers, outsourcing retainers, positioners, everything. Lots of different types of retention that are out there, how to make them, how to do them, how to trim them. But I just want to generalize, because I probably get this question once a day. And I know sometimes it's hard to find old videos. Oh, another way if you want to watch this series is you go to my website, which is Straightsmile Solutions, click on educational videos, which is somewhere under education. There's a tablet at the top, and there's also the playlist there. But I just want to go over this. Really, you guys always ask, like, how should I be doing retainers? Well, there isn't a cookie cutter approach to retainers. A lot of ortho offices have somewhat of kind of a plan, but each patient must be evaluated for their own set of what works best for them. So I can't give you a cookie cutter approach as to what is best, because everything is customized. And a lot of times patients come in with a certain set of preferences. I really like to bring this up at the very beginning when you start treatment. And there's no one wrong way or right way to do it. There's only making sure that you're happy and that the retention is going to work for the patient for a lifetime, and that the patient is happy and it's going to work for them. So usually in our offices, what we've always said is your treatment will include one set of retainers, whatever is recommended by the doctor. That is what it includes. What is it? Could be a bonded. Could be bonded with Essix on top. Could be in-house Essix. Could be Vivera. Could be Holly. Could be positioner. I don't know. It really depends. I can't tell them what it's going to be. Sometimes I have some idea at the beginning, depending on how they initially start, but you have to pick the right retainer for the right patient, okay? Now, this has always been my policy. If the patient wants additional retainers or wants something that is not necessarily recommended or in the best interest or is unnecessary, it's not the recommended kind of retainer, it's an additional fee, okay? So that's how that works. I also like to say that on the front end, there is absolutely nothing wrong with baking that into your contract. As a matter of fact, you should bake it into your contract. Do I have them with that baked in? No, but I do have other retainer contracts, retainer menus. These are all available in our store. If you go to my website, Straightsmile Solutions, go to documents in the store, you'll see a lot of stuff there. I even have more. If you are a concierge or VIP member, all documents come for free, unlimited amount of documents for the time that you are with us. So you have to ask. That's all you have to do, and we'll give them to you. Just kind of tell us what you're looking for. We're always making new documents, and we have way more than what's even in the store. So you just got to kind of tell us what you need, and we'll just give you everything that we have. So I love the idea of having a retainer menu. I love the idea of letting the patient know up front kind of what you're thinking. I could tell you a personal story if you listen to my retainer YouTube videos. You know, back when I had my first time I had my braces, I was given a lower bonded retainer and upper Holly. Yes. I was fine with the upper Holly, and this was really before they had a lot of Essix. It really wasn't a thing back then. Hated the lower bonded, like hated it. Had trouble cleaning behind it. It looked ugly. You could see it when I talked. Well, they were anchored with bands back then. They weren't bonded and streamlined and pretty. So I asked to get it out, and then they never gave me another retainer, and of course they relapsed. But you just have to remember, what you have to remember is that retainers are for a lifetime. And the main thing that I want you to get out of this is that you need to have a lifetime plan for the patient. That doesn't mean you need to give them a lifetime's worth of retainers. You only have to give them one. Should you charge even for the retainer, or should it be free? I really think it's incredibly tacky to assess an additional fee for retainers at the end. I think that's tacky. I think it's rude. You can do it, and there's nothing wrong with doing it. There's many direct-to-consumer aligner companies that do that, but they also have it on the front end. Like, the patients know our prices are incredibly low for the actual treatment because we separate the retainer payments. It's separate. So that way so there's nothing wrong with doing that as long as they're like crystal clear that that's going to be additional fee, and it's something they absolutely have to do. The only issue I've had there's been a few DSOs that I work for that have done stuff like that, and it's just so shady because the patients always forget. It's 2 years later, the parents forget. We get to the end, they're so excited, we're ready to take their braces off, And then the parents are like, I can't afford the retainers. And then what do we do, right? That's just wrong. I can't do that to a kid. You know, I did all this work for 2 years. I worked my butt off. You guys worked your butt off. You guys came to your appointments. You wore your elastics when I told you you were a great patient. And now you can't afford to retain them? What a waste of time. They're just going to go back. So I can't do that. I completely against that. I'm fine with the one set. I'm fine with whatever's recommended by the doctor. But along the way, you need to start bringing that conversation up as to, this is what I'm thinking. This is my plan. So for example, if your plan is Essix or Vivera, remember, one set is not lasting a lifetime. How long will it last? A couple months, maybe 6 months, maybe a year. It really depends on how well they're made. It depends on the acidity of the saliva. It depends on how strong your facial muscles are. I can't tell you. I really can't. They may crack, they may break, they may stretch out. They may wear down, you may wear them down. So you have to constantly be switching these out for a lifetime. You may need, you're gonna need more than just 4 sets. You're gonna need 10, 15 sets in a lifetime. And it gets incredibly expensive if you just have to keep going into a different doctor for a new set. So you really need to bake in what the additional sets are gonna cost. One of the things I really love about being a GP or a pediatric dentist doing ortho is that it's so easy for you to bake this in because the patient comes in every 6 months anyways, or they should be. And that incentivizes them to keep coming back. So it's really easy to create a RSP. So you're probably wondering, what's an RSP? Retainer Subscription Program, where perhaps it's so easy now with Stripe and many other different types of financing options that are out there. It doesn't have to be like Compassion. I'm just talking about anything. It can be QuickBooks. It can be QuickBooks. Yeah, I know Stripe does it because I have a subscription part. It's so easy for me to just enter their credit card or their bank account number. They can do it themselves. I can even create that myself. And the patient, and I'm sure that there are services out there that do this too, whether it's, maybe Venmo does it. I don't know if they have auto bill stuff. PayPal definitely does. Stripe definitely does, where every month they can get charged $4.99, or every year $49, something really, really nominal that's auto billed. But as long as they're still part of the subscription program, they can come back anytime and get an additional retainer for X amount. What I don't like is the whole retainers for life thing. I think that is the stupidest thing. So stupid. Whether you outsource with another program, sorry, I know there's a lot of programs that are out there, but I 100% disagree in getting them for life, because that is going to count against yours. When you go to sell that practice, you're screwed. The value of your practice is going to go way down. But having a subscription program will increase the value of your practice. So a nominal fee, just more like an administrative fee, okay? So $49, $59, $69. I like the per year better than the per month because it's so easy for things to get hiccups per month. But you can. You could totally do per month too. You could give one or the other and obviously have a discount for the year where they are subscribed to this program. If they cancel, they no longer are, that's fine. But then anytime they need new retainers, all they have to do is give you a call. And this is only gonna work, obviously, if you're storing, whether you have an iTero or you ordered them from Invisalign Vivera, or there's a way for you to cloud store those models, because Vivera is only gonna store them for so long, okay? So you can create your own subscription model. You can cloud store the STLs. It's not that hard to do. And then super easy for you to just print another one, whether you're making it in office or you're outsourcing it at Invisalign or you're outsourcing it at a lab. As long as you have the STL, that's the magic, right? And then you could just make another one off the other one, and of course it's not free. We're gonna charge maybe something just to cover the overhead, basically, and the shipping. So whatever the fee is, there's a lot of labs that are making them for $30. Even Global that I work with, they make retainers for, I don't want to quote, but it's definitely less than 50. Just to cover the cost plus the shipping, okay? But you bake it in for life. But remember, you're also getting that fee every month or every year, which is gonna cover the administrative portion. And if they don't use it, then you just get that fee anyways, yay, So you're still profiting. Your patient knows they can get 5 new retainers if they want. If they need to run through them, if they're constantly losing them, without having to come in, get another scan, get a delivery, you can mail it to them, they can pick it up, whatever. So as long as it's the same STL, the same scan, and you're not making any changes, you can mail it to them. You can have them just come pick it up. You can have a family member come pick it up, whatever. It's very, very, very easy. Now, of course, you want to put a caveat in there that if the teeth have shifted, they need to come in for an exam, and perhaps they get 50% off treatment if they're part of the retainer subscription program. Doesn't mean they get Invisalign. They can get, white label. There's a lot of different other cheaper options out there, especially for more limited treatment, but that's a fantastic choice too. just create your program. Whatever you want to create, you just create it. But I've found that doctors who do this, especially ortho offices, a lot of them are doing this. Especially if you can even, if you bring it up, at debunk, even if you bring it up at the start, this is a great way to actually sell the case, because so many of us, parents, but we were kids who lost our retainers in college. I mean, of the 4 kids of ours that are in college, all 4 of us, no, I didn't. I never lost my retainer, sorry. 3 out of my 4 siblings lost their retainers in college. And there was no such thing as STLs or cloud storage back then. I mean, you had to go to an orthodontist and get it remade, which cost my parents ridiculous amounts of money. It ended up being cheaper to fly the kids home, do it at the home doctor, but then things had relapsed by then. And it was a nightmare. I remember the stress that my parents went through trying to deal with this. And parents remember this stress. So having this actually, and perhaps you even sell it on the front end when they contract with treatment. Hey, you can sign up for the subscription program now. We can go ahead and get you enrolled. So as soon as you're done, you're already, 5 years worth, 1 year worth, whatever, and we do it at a discount. I mean, you can get super creative with this, right? Great way to make additional revenue, great way to make money even when the case is done, great way to ensure that your patient is happy and the parents are happy and they feel secure about the treatment. They trust you. So I just wanted to bring all that up, but really that wasn't the whole topic of the essay. The whole topic of the conversation was do not make in-house Essix unless you have the right equipment or an RSP, which is a retainer subscription program. So remember, if you have cheap equipment, not all equipment is the same. You're not going to have a well-made and a well-adapted retainer. It may look nice, but doesn't mean it's going to function right. So you need to have the proper stuff. I'm not talking about trimming. Trimming, I don't care. That's not structurally different. I'm talking about having an actual BioStar or MiniStar, a pressure-forming vacuum former, okay? Not just a suck-down machine. Suck-down machine is not going to keep teeth straight. I'm sorry, it's not. And for those of you who have suck-downs and have been making in-house, to be honest, if your patient complains and it comes back and people find out you have inferior, that's fine for bleaching trays. It's fine for temporary matrices and stuff like that, but it's not fine for Essix. For temporary retainers, like we had one in our office where we'd make it for temporary while we send the other one out. Nothing wrong with that. Long term, no. You have to invest in the right equipment. A BioStar, MiniStar is going to cost $10, $20, $15,000, So you need that at the very least. You need to be using the right material, not cheap material, okay? So, and I have a lot of other videos about what type of Essix material to use. Again, this is not one size fits all. It's customized depending on the patient. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully I woke you up to some possibilities. Sometimes you guys think when the Invisalign case is done, we're done, but you're not. So there's still a whole nother phase. It's called retention, which can either be problematic or it can be an income making opportunity. And I highly recommend you do the latter. All right, thanks.